I realized I have made a mistake, a huge mistake. It actually ends up benefiting us. I'm in the middle of a Shopify challenge to see if I can make $100,000 in profit in the first 6 months of starting my new store. Having done over $300,000 in revenue and only profiting $37,880.91 since July 1st, I have my work cut out for me. It's proving to be harder than I expected. If I continue on this path, it seems like I'm going to be coming pretty close to the cutoff. In this video, I'm going over what I'm selling, what went well this week, and what went absolutely terrible. And if you stick around until the end, I'm going to go over the financials to see if I made any money this week with running this store. Let's get into it. The first thing that we're going to look at is our total sales. So this is the amount of revenue that we did this week. So Sunday to Saturday. As you can see, we did a total of $31,552.80. On Sunday, we did $5,762.71 in revenue. Took a dip on Monday. We did $3,450.14 in revenue. Tuesday, $4,265.44. So on Wednesday, we did $5,112.20. On Thursday, we did $3,268.04. Friday, $4,149.65. And finally, on Saturday, we did $5,544.62. As you can see, we are up a mere 1.3% over the previous week. Our average order value is $42.74. That's pretty decent. That means people are pretty much buying one shirt, but this is including our shipping price as well as our shipping protection that we offer. Online store sessions are slightly down. This could mean that our ads didn't perform as well this week. We had 24,555 online store sessions. Our conversion rate is up 10%. This is great. We're at 2.63%. Would love for this to be higher, but overall for the week, not too bad. We had 667 total orders, up 1% over last week, which makes sense that our revenue is also up. And our time to fulfill is roughly 2 days and 21 hours. So this is a little long. As you can see on Halloween, it took a dramatic increase to 16 days, which probably is some sort of glitch in the system or something that we were doing on the back end. Definitely not normal. So that's definitely skewing this, but it looks like it's roughly around 2 days for the most part across the week. So not too bad. Okay, so let's get into some of the advertising. As you can see here, this is our Facebook ad dashboard. We have all of our campaigns that we're currently running right here. These are all active. We have our daily budget that we have set, and then some of them use the ad set budget, not the campaign budget. We had a total of 587 total orders from our Facebook advertising at an average of a 2.4 ROAS. We always love to be above 2. That for us is profitable. So if we're running at a 2.4, we are definitely profitable. Would love for this to be higher, but a 2.4 is pretty good. We had a total of 20,986 link clicks at 49 cents average cost per click. This is definitely a little higher than we like it to be. I wish all of our campaigns were running at like a 34-cent link click, but it is Q4. So we have a lot of different competitors in the ad space that we're competing with. You got big stores like Nike, Sephora, Lululemon, all these big names that Q4 is their biggest quarter of the year. They're ramping up their ad spend. They want you buying those Christmas gifts, all the buying stuff for Black Friday. This is their time to shine. So for us, advertising becomes more expensive. So that's why this cost per click is a little bit higher. But luckily for us, Q1 is right around the corner, and that is when Facebook advertising is typically the cheapest. And people are still in a mood to buy. Don't think that just because it's Q1, people aren't going to be buying your product. They absolutely will still be buying your product. But overall, not too bad on the Facebook advertising. But next, let's head over to our Google ads for the week of the 29th through the 4th. We spent $270 on Google ads for $1,680,000 in return. Cost per click is down from the week before. It was 80 cents per click. Now we're down to 48 cents, so that's great. It got a little bit cheaper this week. ran better than we had run the week before. So I will definitely take this here. And next, let's go into the financials and see if I actually made anything this week. Okay, so as we can see here for October 29th through November 4th, we have total sales of $31,552.80. We then have our printer refunds. This is the 5% for our production cost, as well as any tax that we pay to Printify because we sell so many t-shirts. So this is going to roughly come out to being $553.36. Our 2% cash back. This is everything that gets put on our credit card. So we use the Capital One business card. That gives us 2% cash back on all business transactions. We put everything on this credit card, from our cost of goods from Printify to our ad spend on Facebook and Google, our Shopify membership. Everything that you can possibly put on a credit card is on this credit card, so that we are getting tax-free 2% cash back in our pocket. So for this week, with all of our expenses, it came to $505.56 for a total of $32,611.72 of total income. Now, this income sounds great. I would love to have just $32,000 in my pocket and not have to take anything out of that. But unfortunately, running an e-commerce store comes with costs. So let's break those down. Our first and biggest cost is going to be our cost of goods, or our printer invoice. This is what we get billed from Printify every single week. This is the cost to produce the shirt, print the shirt, ship the shirt, taxes on the shirt, pretty much anything that you could possibly think of a fee getting tacked on to filling the order, that's coming from Printify. So that for the week was $14,756.16. We are taking out our Facebook ad spend, which was $10,251.99. Google ad spend was $270, as we just saw. We are not currently spending anything on TikTok ads, but that's something that we're looking to do in the future. Merchant fees, this is Shopify fees as well as PayPal fees, because we use their platforms for processing, which comes to $1,285.06 for a total of all of our costs for the store to $26,563.21. We also need to deduct out our overhead, which is really recurring payments. So this is payments to employees as well as any monthly charges. So our Shopify membership, any other apps that we get billed monthly, all of this goes into our overhead. It's basically the amount of money that just keeps the lights on for your business. So that's roughly $588 per week for a net profit of $5,460.51, or a margin of 17.31%. So this is great. Anything above a 5% margin, I think, is wonderful. So 17 is incredible. Overall, not a bad week. So the exciting thing about this week is that we were at a 17.3% profit margin, which is wonderful. And it's also the end of a month. So we can actually zoom out on the month and look at the entire profit and loss sheet for the full month of October. And that can give us a really good picture of how we're doing as an overall business. So going into our monthly P&L, let's break it down. For the month of October, we did a total of $141,855.97 in revenue. This is up over 40% from September, which is great. We have done an average order value of $41.85. A 2.53% conversion rate overall is pretty good. And our time to fulfill was 2 days and 12 hours, which is being skewed by this past week that had that random little jump. So before, we were just taking the total number of sales, and now we're going to be taking the gross sales and adding in shipping, deducting out discounts, deducting out returns, and then this just shows the tax that was collected. So what we have collected from the consumer that then we will remit to all the appropriate states that we collect sales tax in. So our total sales, everything, adding in shipping, deducting out discounts, returns, everything, was $140,742.55. with a total number of orders of 3,044. Our total Printify refunds was $2,332.87, and our cashback credit card, after looking at the statement, was $1,753.98 for our grand total of $144,829.40. Again, I would love if I could pocket that money every single month, but unfortunately, e-commerce comes with some costs. For our entire Facebook ad spend, we spent $43,702.43. We did an average of 2.6 ROAS. Our cost per click was a 44-cent link click, so that's not too bad. Overall, pretty solid month for October as far as Facebook advertising goes. Now, if we come back to our October number, we can see our printer invoice was $67,321.20. This is what we got billed from Printify over the entire course of October. Our Google ad spend for the month came to $916 in cost for $3,260 in sales. So overall, that's pretty solid. Our cost per click was closer to 56%, probably a little high. That's probably just due to it being Q4. Again, we're not that great with Google ads. They're running in the background. They're doing pretty well, but we have not really dug deep into running more campaigns or really putting more effort into Google. It's just like an extra little bump that is helping us out right now. We are not doing anything with TikTok ad spend, so that's a big fat zero. PayPal fees came out to $1,667.86, and Shopify fees came out to being $3,773.21. So this is all the fees that come out whenever we get a payout. Those just will get deducted as money starts hitting your account. So it's important to track and keep note of, because you may think you're making more off of Shopify than you actually are. So we just add those fees in here. Amazon fees, we were using Amazon for some payments, and that came out to being $73.13 in fees. So it wasn't bringing in a ton of money for us. Not that many people use it for processing. Our total costs came to $117,453.83. Overhead expense was roughly $2,600. That's taking that $588 per week and kind of just multiplying it by 4, since there's 4 weeks in a month. So roughly $2,600 for a net profit of $24,775.57, or a 17.6% margin. So overall cost of goods, a little bit high for me. I would love for this to be lower. I like it to be closer to 45% cost of goods. So we'll keep an eye on this as we move forward. Our off Facebook ROAS was a 3.2. This is great. This kind of just shows why we were so profitable this month. And our average order value, this says $46.56, which is slightly off, but it's probably being skewed because of our printer refund. There's that. Now, if you're looking at this and you're wondering, there's more profit here than what I've showed in my past videos, I realized I have made a mistake, a huge mistake. It actually ends up benefiting us. But what I was doing, if we look back at the previous week, the 22nd through the 28th, as you can see, total sales has already deducted out discounts and refunds. So what I actually did was I deducted that out twice. So instead of $2,313.04 in profit, it really should have been $5,473.89. Mistakes still happen. Luckily for us, this was a happy mistake. I realized I've been making more profit than what I was accounting for. Most of the times when I've made any sort of accounting mistake, it's usually a negative, and it usually means that I've lost more money than I thought I've made. In this case, I will need to recalculate exactly how much I need to make to complete this challenge because of this happy accident. Okay, so let's break it down and see really how much I've actually done in profit and figure out exactly how much more I need to make in order to have $100,000 in my bank account by January 31st of 2024. So July, our total profit was $6,415.93. August was $7,239.62. September was $22,501.50, and October was $24,775.57 for a new and correct grand total of $60,932.62 in total profit that I've made since July from running this store. It's funny how in the beginning of this video, I literally was looking at the numbers thinking I have my work cut out for me, that I definitely have a lot more work that I need to put into this store, and instead turning out to be such a happy accident and actually have making more in profit. So now if we subtract $60,932.62 from $100,000, I need to make $39,067.38 by January 31st of 2024. So this has become a lot more attainable than I actually thought it was going to be. And this just goes to show that it's important to continue to check your numbers even after the fact. There have been times where I've checked in on my numbers once a month, and then it turns out into being a huge financial nightmare. I missed things. It's always good to stay on top of your finances. I run a daily profit report and balance sheet every single morning for my store. This is the balance sheet that I fill out every single day for the previous day to understand exactly how much I'm making, how much I'm losing, where the store's at. Again, it fluctuates. There were days where we did $1,700 in sales, and then $64, and then $500, $20.89. It's all over the place, but that's because things hit your account at different times and on different days. So if you're keeping track of your P&L and you're keeping track of a balance sheet, you're going to have a really good idea of where your business truly stands. So it's just really important to keep a close eye on your finances, and even sometimes you keep a close eye, you can still make mistakes. Luckily, this was a happy accident, but again, I've had days where it's been not so happy accidents. So keep a close eye on it. This would be my advice to you. And always hire an accountant or a bookkeeper, because they'll catch things that you are not able to catch. If you enjoyed this video, please comment and subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions at all, drop a comment for me. I'll be sure to get back to you, and turn on notifications. That way, when I make more videos and give more updates on this challenge, you can stay up to date and see if I can actually make $100,000 in profit in the first 6 months of selling t-shirts.